How's it going, guys? Jacob Wall, FLW Pro Circuit angler here. Just wrapped up our second stop of the season on the Harris Chain of Lakes down in Florida. Really good event. I came from a 52nd place finish over on Sam Rayburn in Texas going into this event, and I had pre-practice down there, dialed in a little bit of some offshore grass stuff, and that's kind of what I went into this tournament wanting to focus on. And so I went into it with that mentality that I was going to go down there and I was going to key in on offshore grass. So the first day of practice, I checked a bunch of stuff, and let's just say they were there. They were on it pretty good, and I found them. I marked my spots, figured everything out, and I just left it be for the rest of practice. And I went looking for some beds, looked for some other stuff that didn't really play, but all week I sat on one spot, believe it or not, and I caught every bass I weighed off one school of fish. It was a small depression in a big flat next to some deeper water, and what it was pepper grass, like 3 to 4 feet of water on this pepper grass. And in this depression there was about 5 to 6 feet of water with hydrilla that grew up off the bottom. And these fish were, in the morning, they were everywhere around that. But once the sun kind of came up and got higher in the sky, they would push down into that depression. And I was throwing a variety of moving baits, lipless crankbait, chatterbait were my primary players. But I ended up 12th place this week out of that one spot. And I just kind of wanted to share with you guys one of the techniques that was a huge player this week, and that was the chatterbait. This one here, this is a Z-Man jackhammer, half ounce. That was my key deal, was the half ounce jackhammer. But this color, white and chartreuse, was really, really good when the clouds were out, or if it was a little darker conditions early in the morning. That one played really, really key for me. But then as the sun poked out throughout the tournament, I opted for this one. This is actually a color I hadn't even thrown. I picked it up when I got down there. It's called Green Shad. But what I really want to talk to you guys about, this chatterbait everybody throws. This chatterbait is a well-known chatterbait. Everybody knows the jackhammer. It's a fish catching machine. But what I really want to talk to you guys about that not a lot of people use is that trailer on there. That is a Gambler Little Easy, and it doesn't look like your standard Little Easy. As you can tell, it's got that little pointed tail on there. But I'll explain to you really quick here why I like that over, honestly, just about any other trailer there is. So first of all, here I'll show you a few colors that I like to use. So as you can see in my chatterbait box here, I've got darks and I got lights, and I got a little bit of variant in between. So I've got my trailers to match. I got some dark trailers here. This is a Silver Shadow, Little Easy. And then I've got my lights. I got my Phantom and I got my White Lightning here. These are two just good brighter colors. This is actually my favorite color right here for any shad or brighter color chatterbait. So I'll show you what I do with these guys. So as you can tell on the back of this chatterbait, it's pointed off like that. It doesn't have that boot tail. Here's how it comes stock out of the package. This bait works extremely well if you're throwing it on just a straight jig head. You can catch them on an Alabama rig with that, catch spotted bass with that, put it on an underspin, really do a whole bunch of different things just how it is like this. And you can put it on a chatterbait just like this. I know a lot of guys will thread it on there like it is. Some guys will flip it upside down. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can put that on there. But one of my favorite ways to do it is thread it on the chatterbait, get it all on there with the boot tail. But then I take my scissors here, and what I do is I kind of push the scissor blades right up against the boot of the tail, and then I just follow that down all the way down to where it creates a little point. So what you got is no boot tail any longer and a little point on the end of your Little Easy. And what that does, I'll explain to you real quick here. So a chatterbait blade's gonna vibrate really quick. Blade's gonna move through the water kind of like this, really fast, really quickly. And a lot of trailers fight that action. A lot of trailers, boot tail swim baits, they want to swim slowly, more fluidly. When you've got a fast moving blade, they fight each other. One's moving quick, the other's moving slow, and it can end up being good. You can end up getting a good action, but the problem is sometimes you want it to be fluid all throughout. You want everything to work the same. And so with this trailer, the way the plastic is, it's a little bit stiffer plastic, and so it reacts really, really well to this blade. So at the same time of your blade vibrating back and forth really quickly, this tail is doing the exact same thing. As you can tell, when I'm just holding in my hand, it wants to kind of do that. But that's what it's doing, but extremely rapidly. It's really a tight action, and it's amazing how it mimics the action of the blade. another really key feature to this trailer is when you're reeling it, if you speed your handle up like 3 times or 4 times, it'll shoot out a rotation and hunt, and then when you slow back down, it'll catch back up to itself and get back into its track. Just an extremely effective trailer. I was around a number of guys this week out there offshore, and I outfished every single one of them, and I think a lot of it had to do with that guy right there. I highly recommend you guys check that out. Little Easy by Gambler.